Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Midwest Stitches YouTube channel. My name is Danielle and this is my channel where I talk about knitting, crocheting, sewing, or any other crafty thing that I might get up to. Today is Friday, June 21st. It is episode 49. So today I have some finished objects to share with you, a few finished pairs of socks, and a dishcloth to talk about. I've got some progress on my blanket projects that you've seen, and a new sock cast on that you haven't seen yet, obviously. So let's get right into it. You can find me on Instagram at midwest.stitches or on my website at midweststitches.com. You can find all of my project pages on Ravelry at Midwest Stitches. All right, let's dive on in. Grab yourself a drink. It is a hot one here in Nebraska. There's my dog. Yeah, we're in a heat wave right now, which I think most of the United States is. So I've got iced coffee. And let's talk finished object. All right, first up, I finished these pair of socks, which you saw one last time. And these are for a gift. So this is the Freckled Whimsy Yarn of the Month Halfway to Haunts. This was the leftovers that I had. And I know I talked last time about how I thought I might frog these and redo them, but I decided not to do that. I decided I'm going to go ahead and gift them to the recipient because if they like this style of sock with this is just ribbing on the back, that's it, the whole way down, then that might be an option for me in the future for other socks for this person. So there's those. For these I did 2.75 millimeter needles. This pair I cast on 48 stitches. No, this was 56. No, 56. 48 stitches, 2.75 millimeter needle for these. So I can put these in the gift basket for this year. Oh, and before I get into the other finished objects, I did cut my hair. I chopped it all off. After a while I get sick of it, so I just thought I would say that in case you're like, where's that bun that's always on top of your head? That's usually my go-to style when it gets so long that I don't know what to do with it anymore. So that always tells me that it's time for a haircut, or when I get sick of taking care of longer hair. Okay, so the other thing is I wanted to show you what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a tank top that I got from the Crazy Sock Ladies spreadshirt shop. So, and it is Team Cuff Down. And on the back, I don't know if you won't be able to see it. On the back you can put stuff too, and it says Crazy Sock Lady. So I just wanted to show that because I love the black tank top with the white writing. And just a little tip, if you're in Spreadshirt, whether it's my shop or someone else's, my suggestion is to always go into the customize tool, because the graphic that someone uploads, lighting, the graphic that someone uploads might not be the size that you want. So it's nice to see because it'll show you kind of a rough size of how it looks on the finished product. So if you want the graphic to be a little bit smaller or bigger, and then you can also put stuff on the back side if that's an option for that particular product, which this one was. It is a few extra dollars, but I was okay with that. So I just wanted to show that because I hadn't shown that on here before. Okay, moving on. Next finished object is these socks, which I love so much. I had one done last time, but now they are both done, and I am so happy to have them done. They are so cute. Let's see, how can I show these? These are the roller skating rink socks. These are roller skating rink from Stitchin' with Yarn. And I had a 50-gram skein of this, so I had just a little bit left over, which will go into my scrap bag. Aren't those so pretty? So yes, happy to have these done. I knit these as I normally do for my shorty socks. 8 rounds for the cuff, 4 rounds for the leg on 2mm needles, 64 stitches for me. Okay. My next finished pair of socks I got this last year. This is from Daisy Stitch Co. And it is called Rollerblading. And it is with the Barbie Mini. So there you go. So obviously I use the mini for the toes. And I love this color. I thought it was just so cute. Very, very 90s, very Barbie. So there you go. There's those. Same as the last pair. Okay, my last finished object, if you will, is that Tunisian crochet dishcloth on paper towel that I was working on the last time. And I don't know if I think I talked about this the last time. I was inspired to do this because Back Porch Fiber Co., she is doing a dishcloth knit along for the year. And of course, I've talked about this many times, how I have a lot of cotton yarn that I don't really know what to do with. And I've talked about how I don't like knit dishcloths. They're just too heavy for me. Generally, and I don't like how they stretch out because garter stitch is stretchy. So I thought I would try this out. So I finished this one. So this is just the Tunisian simple stitch, and I did do just a simple single crochet border, and I followed a tutorial, if you will, for the border from Jada in Stitches. I'll try to link that down below, but if you just look up Tunisian crochet Jada in Stitches, you'll see it. She does a Tunisian simple stitch dishcloth to walk you through how to do it. And then hers has a little loop so you can hang it, but obviously I don't need that on this, so I omitted that. And this curled a lot when it was done, even after the border. And all I did for this to kind of, make it a little flatter, I just soaked it. I just got it really wet with water, wrung that out, and just laid it on the counter and let it dry. And that worked perfect. Before that, I know that bothers some people. I've seen people talk about that online, how with Tunisian crochet, the curling when you're working on the project really bothers them. For me, it wasn't a huge deal. I knew that just getting the item wet would help to kind of flatten it out, and it did. And it's, it looks fine to me. It's a little wavy, but it's been hung up here on my wall waiting to be talked about. So I wanted to show, here's you can see there's really no stretch either direction. So that to me is going to be good for, the purpose for these for us is like napkins, paper towels, kind of things. I don't really wash, or I don't wash dishes with these kind of things that we make, but Adrian does. Me, I use like a sponge or like a scrubby pad thing, a green scratch pad, or a non-scratch thing. So yeah, these are perfect for what I want. I'm definitely making more of these with my cotton stash. And this one, this yarn was Knit and Crochet brand, but I don't remember the color. I think it was Jade maybe, but I don't have the label. And it is a 4-weight yarn, worsted weight. And I used a 5mm Tunisian crochet hook, a long one, not an interchangeable. What else? For this one, I chained 20, but it turned out to be a little bit too small. I'm still going to use this, but the next one I'm making is larger. So I chained 20 for this, and I think I counted these little bars here, these vertical bars. I did 45 of those before I did the single crochet border on it. So, and that was kind of the perfect length. I just measured it against the unpaper towels that I showed the last time until it was a good length. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it the same, except it's going to be a little bit wider. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say about this? Oh, yes, that's the other thing I wanted to share with you. So for this, I weighed it. It used just under 31 grams. So obviously a 100-gram ball, you could get roughly, if your tension is the same as mine, I can get, you know, roughly 3 of them, you know, and then have a little bit left over, and then maybe I can do like a scrappy version. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with the scraps. I'll just kind of figure out another type of dishcloth or something to make with those once I have a whole bunch. But that's good to know because I have a lot of cotton yarn, like I said, and this is something that I know we will use, and I like making them. I really enjoyed it. So there's my last finished object. Okay, works in progress. What should we start with? Since we're talking about that, I will just show you I did start another one of these. So here's my next one in that same color. And for this, I chained 25. And I did measure that against the unpaper towels that we have. And my advice would be, if you want it to be a certain length or width, when you're chaining it and say you're measuring it against something, make sure you do not stretch the chain out, because this is a very tight weave, and if you try to like stretch it out, it is not going to be accurate at all for what you want. So just keep that in mind. So I'm about, you know, a quarter of the way through on this. I'm just kind of picking this up here and there to work on it, and I think I can get 2 more out of this. I might be like 1.5, so I might just get 1 more out of this color. I'm not really sure. I don't think I have any more of this color, but I'll have to look. So at least 1 more in that color. So there's that. And I did start, I showed this the last time. I showed this yarn, this fingering weight cotton yarn. This is from Joann's. It's the Eddie Bauer. It's the Eddie Bauer collection they have. It is an organic cotton fingering weight yarn. And I did start this one to see how I would like it. And I have to start over because I just kind of guessed on how many I would need. And I think, what did I chain? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. I chained 26 for this, and it is really not wide enough because I hadn't gotten far enough on the other one to really know that it wasn't going to be wide enough when I did this. So I need to start over. So I'm not very far on this, but this is what I have so far. You can't really see, but I do like the texture, the fabric that I'm getting with this cotton yarn. So this is a 2.5 millimeter Tunisian crochet hook, and I got a set of 4 of them off of Amazon. It was like $10, and they're kind of flimsy, but I couldn't find like a metal one in that size, and I don't, like I said last time, I don't like wooden crochet hooks or knitting needles. So I'm just being careful with this, making sure not to be too rough with it or have it in a spot where it might break, because I don't want that to happen either. So there's that. I'm going to restart this one probably soon, and I think I might cast on like 35 to 40 or chain 35 to 40 and see how that works for the width of it. So just wanted to update you on that one. I did start it. My newest sock project is a 4th of July sock, which I have in this bag. This is my half and half style that I have sold a few times in the shop. It's just made with scraps, and I just love this so much. And if you're new here, which, by the way, we've got a ton of new subscribers, so hello, welcome to everyone that's new. Welcome back if you're new, if you're returning viewer, subscriber. But this print right here, this is actually the wrong orientation, like the heart, you can see it's the wrong way, but I made this for me and I didn't care because I loved both of these prints. These were some of the first prints that I sold in my shop when I opened it in 2021. I had some 4th of July bags. So anyway, moving on. I am using Stitchin' with Yarn again. And this is her Old Glory. Oh, that's so bright. Old Glory Coloring, whatever, you can't see that. Here it is. The perfect 4th of July colors. I love this. And she actually released this for Memorial Day, but obviously 4th of July works too. Okay, so here's my progress so far. I'm only on the first sock. And again, this is 2mm needles, 8 rounds for the cuff, 4 rounds for the leg. And there's my progress so far. I am way past the heel, as you can see. I'm into the foot. And honestly, I've been just slowly working on socks because right now I am like completely obsessed with my crochet hexie blanket. I just am loving working on that. And it is like I'm not necessarily forcing myself to work on socks, but it's like I'm just working on them slower, you know, just kind of not trying to crank them out super fast or anything, and just enjoying the stitches that I get in them here and there, and not making it a race or rushing it or anything. So I'm just going with that flow right now and working on whatever makes me happy. Since I was talking about the Hexi blanket, let me show you the latest flowers that I've made. I've completed a couple. Okay, so I have completed this one. Ooh, that's so bright. This is not quite that bright in real life, but you know, natural lighting. So I've completed this one. This is for the fingering weight blanket, which, I mean, how cute are those gonna look? You know, those might not be next to each other, but you know, you just imagine them in a blanket. So I have that one, and then I completed this one today. And this was the leftovers from the rollerblading socks with the Barbie mini, as you can probably guess. And I ran out. I thought I had enough, but I was like 1 1/4 round short. So I will have at least one scrappy flower in that blanket. But I still love it. So there's 3 done so far. And I think for these, I'm not going to join them yet. I do have my joining color. I showed that. But I think for now, I'm just going to keep making the flowers and just kind of keep a stack of them until I'm either A, out of minis to crochet up, or B, I feel like I want to join them together. So my goal is to kind of go through the minis that I have, the solid colored minis, and I have a lot of them. I have at least, I don't know, probably 20 colors that I could get through, which is obviously 20 flowers. And then I might feel like that's a good amount where I could start joining them together. And I don't know if I'm going to have scraps in these or not. I mean, maybe now I will because of this one. I was kind of thinking they'd all be solid colored ones for this fingering weight version. But I haven't decided that yet. There's no need to decide that now. So I'm just going to keep making the flowers and just keeping a stack of them until I figure out what I want to do next as far as joining. And then I think I showed this last time. I think I did. I completed this one for the DK one, and I've now finished this one. So this is fingering held double, but it's 2 different skeins that I had. I had some scraps of this, and one is a stellina base, so there's a little bit of sparkle, and the other one was just regular. So these were actually from 2 sock blank leftovers that I had, which I probably wouldn't do that again. So because the yarn is all kinked up from being in the sock blank, it made it hard to crochet with. I think almost harder than knitting with it. So I probably won't do that again. But it was nice to use up something. I just picked something that I already had caked up, that was already used up, so that I wouldn't have to, you know, worry about caking anything up for this next flower. However, I use the same size hook for this one. I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook, and then for the fingering weight version, I'm using a 2.5mm. Somehow, these flowers are not the same size. this one is slightly bigger. So I'm not sure if that's really going to matter when it comes to joining. I guess I'll figure that out when I get there. But that was a little bit of a surprise to me because I'm like, it's not just a little bit bigger. It's like a half an inch bigger, like all the way around if I line it up in the middle. So anyway, I love making these so much. Oh my goodness, these are so fun. And to give a little update to anyone who might be wondering, the pillow, which you can see here in my chair, it's just on my the Valeri pillow that I showed last time. I think that, along with the arm brace, especially the arm brace that I showed for tennis elbow, is helping so much. My goal each day is to do 1 hexie a day in both flowers. So 1 DK, 1 fingering weight, just so that I can keep going with these. I can keep having progress, but I'm not, I mean, if I could, I would crochet like a maniac on these because I really love them. This is bringing me so much joy. It's making me so happy to see these come together, and in my mind thinking about how the finished product is going to look. That's the other thing. I keep looking at my stash, whether it's, hanged up yarn. I have a bunch of caked yarn here on my wall that I've shown in the past, and thinking about the DK one, because it's going to be more variegated, especially in speckled, and thinking about, I can just pull a full cake of yarn off this wall. I can use half of it for these flowers, still have half for a pair of socks for myself, or for whatever I want to use it for, and just visualizing how that's going to look in a blanket. And honestly, it's really exciting to me. It's part of the reason it's the only thing I want to work on, because of that, and just, I can see how pretty it's going to be. Like, in my mind, it's just going to be gorgeous, as like both blankets are going to be gorgeous. And knowing that it's going to use up a ton of yarn, that is really thrilling to me, because we have our make along going on this year. A little plug there, the hashtag made from stash 2024 make along we have going on right now. And it's just helping me use up even more yarn. I'm not really tracking my grams for projects anymore. I kind of fell off with that. I was keeping like a running list in my planner, like towards the back. I had like a list of projects and how many grams I use, but honestly, it's not that important to me anymore to track it, because I'm not a grams in, grams out kind of gal, because I know that I'm a slower maker, so the amount going out would definitely not trump the amount coming in. Even if I buy like 1 skein of yarn a month, I probably don't even use up 100 grams in a month generally, unless I'm like knocking off the socks and making a ton of those. But so I just kind of fell off with tracking that. I would forget, and then, it's whatever. If tracking it grams in, grams out makes you happy, then you just keep doing that. But for me, it's more of a visualization of knowing how much like something like this used up, looking and seeing my stash go down, like, cakes of yarn off the wall, or scraps out of a scrap bin. Things like that are more satisfying for me in that sense, knowing that I'm using it up and I have less in stash. So that works for me. Anyway, yes, so you will definitely be seeing more of these. My plan is to make 1 a week of these, and so you might see less of socks, at least for right now. I know summer sock camp is going on, and so this project just kind of completely blindsided me working on it more now, because of the pillow and the brace for my arm. Now I can crochet on it without pain for the most part, as long as I go slow and not overdo it. But I just want to work on it all the time. So anyway, the patterns that I'm using, I have linked down below. I have the pattern for the hexagon itself, because it is a granny stitch hexagon. And the only thing that I changed on that is I am working a continuous color all the way around. The tutorial the blog post or whatever that I use for that, she has you changing colors every round, I think, after the second round, I think. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just doing a full solid color. So she doesn't have directions for that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. I will add those notes to my Ravelry page as well to tell you what I'm doing instead of what she describes, because the directions are a little bit different if you're working a solid color. So if you're not an experienced crocheter, I mean, if you are, you can totally figure this out by yourself. It's not that hard if you know what you're doing. But if you're a newer crocheter and you're not sure what to do, I will happily add those notes to my Ravelry page for you to see what you need to do for those. And then the joining method that I'm using, that tutorial is also linked down below and on the Ravelry page as well. That is from Play Hooky With Me. And I like that method. It looks really nice. So I think that's all about that. I'm gonna have to stop talking about it. Okay. And for this, I'm gonna show you, I've caked up some yarn for the center squares, and then I've got some other things of yarn in here, in this basket for both the blankets, just pulled from my stash that I want to use. So for these 20 gram minis, I have 5 of them. These were just from some mini skein sets that I had that I'm pretty sure they're undyed yarn. So, and that's fine, because I know for my flowers, the centers are all going to be the same, either a white or a cream or whatever, something in that family. And then the joining hexagons, they will be in that cream, or not cream, that tan color that I showed the last episode of the episode. Okay, last 2 projects to show you. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on my hat. I have been working on it. I really need to mark this so I know how much I've done since the last time, but here's where I'm at. A little bit of progress. I don't know how many inches this is. I need to measure. It's not a whole lot. I obviously have a lot more to go. So for this, my goal is to just do 5 rounds every day, and that's enough. And for my gauge, because this is fingering weight yarn, and I'm using a 2.75 millimeter needle, roughly about 10 rounds gives me an inch of work. So, you know, every 2 days, if I do it consistently, that's an inch of work. So my goal is hopefully, we'll see, hopefully to have this done by the end of July. I think that is plenty enough time for me to do the amount that it calls for this. So I'm just taking it slow and working on a little bit on it, working a little bit on it every day. And that is the same for this next project. So I have my DK Jelly Roll Blanket, oh my gosh, in this bag, made by me. This, even though it's a knitting project in a crochet bag, these are granny squares, but I just love it. So I have worked on this a little bit. There's a little bit of progress to show. I'm working on my 4th strip. Uh-oh. Oops. My needle got caught. Oh no. Okay, so here's my 4th strip. So there's the bottom. So that's a decent amount. I'm trying to do 5 grams a day, if you will. I've shown this before in this center strip. I have light bulb stitch markers where I kind of mapped out what 5 grams roughly is. So I'm just doing that, and I'm actually almost halfway. So this red one I have, this marks the center of the strip. So this is the center. So I'm about two days away, I think, roughly. Yeah, roughly 2.5 days or something like that away from the halfway point. So that's good. So again, I'm just working on this a little bit each day, and just making progress on it. And that's all I'm really trying to do, is just, you know, these longer term projects, just, you know, because I still want to work on them, to try and get them done, because my goal for this one especially is to get this blanket done this year, and I still have quite a bit left to go. I've said that many times, but working on it a little bit each day helps me see that progress, and because I know myself, and I know if I don't work on it, especially right now, I probably won't want to pick it back up for a long time. Because I will get so involved and so enamored with another project or more other different kinds of projects, multiple projects, that I won't want to work on it, or I will start something similar or whatever, and this will just sit for a while, and I just don't want to do that. I just want to finish it up, and I'm not sure if it's going to be wide enough. I still think about that quite a bit. Wondering if the amount of yarn that I have set aside for this will be sufficient to make it big enough. I'm hoping that it will, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. So, yeah, that's all my projects. So I do have a little bit of mail to show you, a little tiny bit. So I can't remember if I showed this last time. I don't know if I did, but this is the Freckled Whimsy Halloween Club Yarn of the Month. This is called Free Broom Rides. And I think this is going to be socks for Adrian. I feel like those colors would be nice for him. They're on the darker side. I don't know. They're very nice. I like it. There's a lot of different things in there. So, and this is on her DK base. And then I also ordered, so I had seen people show the new Christmassy Yarn Club color for, is this June? Yeah, for June. And once I saw it, I looked on her website, because every month she does have some extras, and I went on there to see if she had any, and she did. So I snagged it. So here it is. It's called Peppermint Cocoa by the Fire. You might have already seen this worked up. And I love it even more like in person. So this is on her fingering weight base with the mini, because she didn't have any of the full skein, just the full skein left. Normally I would just buy that. But I do like the mini, and it is showing a lot brighter on the screen than it is. It's more a darker kind of a brick red, I would say. But I love this, and I might have to, I'm thinking I might work this up next month for Christmas in July, but I don't know yet. So there's that. I love that so much. And the sun is hiding behind the clouds. Okay, we just have to roll with it. So Mandy's Makings, she did a shop update. Was this last week, I think? Or the week before? Anyway, so she had some share pair sets along with some mystery. Well, I mean, it really wasn't a mystery, but it was like a listing of like, I think 4 half share pairs, and it was a mystery which one you were going to get. So basically you ordered it and she was going to pick whichever one she sent you. And so the full share pairs that I wanted from her were called Christmas Traditions. And look at those. Let me see if I can get it with, oh, look at that. So these, I'm thinking that, oh, look at that. Oh, they're just so pretty. I love these. These are just amazing Christmas colors, like true Christmas red and green. Love it. So for these, I'm thinking 2 pairs of socks, and I think I want to do them like how the Crazy Sock Lady did. She has a video on it. It's like 2-row stripes or whatever, how she did that with her share pairs. I'm thinking that, like stripy Christmas socks with 2 rounds each, like I can visualize it, and it looks so good. So good. So that's my plan for these. So maybe I'll do those for Christmas in July. I don't know yet. I do have a lot of Christmas yarn, so it's not like I have to really rush it. But like, how cute would that be? Can you imagine that in a shorty? like a stripy shorty version. Mm-hmm. I can. Yep. Oh, so there's those. And then, of course, whatever leftovers I have will go into my blankets. And then, so my mystery, I also ordered a mystery half share pair. And I opened this and I was like, oh my gosh. I don't even remember this being on the listing for the pictures, honestly. Because she had a lot of other bright colors, but I am like, see, I don't even have the words. I am so happy with what she sent me. Like, I opened it up and I was like, woo, yay. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, so this is called The Stables, and look at this. Oh, look at this skein. Oh my gosh. I love everything about this. I opened this up and the urge to cake this up and cast this on was like crazy intense. And for me, that normally doesn't happen. Like, I can kind of just be like, okay, let me put that in my stash. Maybe after this next one that I'm working on, maybe that'll be next. Who knows? And that usually doesn't happen for me. Honestly, most of the time I don't work it up right when I get it because I have so much already. But this right here, oh, I am dying to cast this on. Like, I want to know how this is going to work up. I love it so much. So, who knows when I will cast that on, but it might be soon. So, let's see. I'm going to start maybe including life stuff in this if you're interested in like what we're watching or whatever. So just watching. We finished watching Heroes. We finished the 4th season. There's 4 seasons of that. We finished that up. And I liked it. I think Adrian liked it too. But I know a lot of fans of the show from like things you can read online. A lot of people hated the 4th season. It was like their least favorite ever. It was a little weird, but I liked it. It was its own thing. And we are watching Leverage Redemption. We watched Leverage, the first iteration of the show, a few months back. We finished all of those seasons. I think there's 5 or 6. There might be more than that. Anyway, so that was like from 10, 15 years ago that show was first around. So now we're watching Leverage Redemption, which is on Amazon. And we're halfway through the first season. There's 2 currently, and there will be a 3rd one. And we really like it. It's definitely more of, I guess I would call it more of a wholesome show. Like, I don't know if it's age necessarily or just the current state of the world that we live in. But when I look for stuff for us to watch or stuff, you know, that we look for together to watch, I think we're kind of on the same page where we don't, like, we're more picky. Like, we want to watch stuff that is, you know, I guess more wholesome. I don't know if that's the right word. But it's like, you know, there's enough bad stuff that goes on in the world and enough politically charged things on TV that, you know, we're really looking for stuff that just is lighthearted and fun and just, you know, makes you feel good. Like, you like watching it. It's enjoyable. And, you know, that's just kind of where I know I'm at. So we're definitely diving into a lot of older shows that neither one of us have seen, which has been fun because, like, you can watch all of the seasons at once because they are older shows. So another one we started watching, which, you know, we're only on the 3rd episode, but I am enjoying, it's called Warehouse 13. I guess it was a sci-fi show. A few years back it ended. There's 5 seasons of that, and I called it, like, the way I would describe it is National Treasure meets The Librarians, which we watched The Librarians years ago too, and I loved that. But that's how I would describe it, is National Treasure meets The Librarians. So it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it so far. And I think that's it. We watched, what else did we watch? Oh, we watched The Hitman on Netflix. That's the new Glenn Powell movie. If you know who that is, that's the hotshot guy from the Top Gun Maverick. He's kind of the it guy, I guess, right now. And I don't remember him talking very much in Top Gun Maverick. So this movie, it was like all him basically. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It was a, interesting script. But I could not get over, if you've seen this, okay, this might resonate with you. I could not get over how much listening to him talk that he sounded like Matthew McConaughey. I always thought Matthew McConaughey's like accent that he has was like exclusive to him, but they're actually both from Austin, Texas. So I'm wondering if other people from Austin, Texas also talk like this. And it was so weird. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, all I'm hearing is Matthew McConaughey. Like the whole time, it's just every time he would talk, and it's only certain words, but it was very much Matthew McConaughey. So it was kind of freaking me out a little bit, but it was just crazy. So, if you know anybody from Austin, Texas, do they all have this kind of accent? Is that exclusive to the area? Is what I'm wondering. So, but that's a good movie. I would recommend that one. That's definitely not, I think that's rated R. So if you have young kids, maybe don't watch that. There is some adult themes in that, but yeah, not too bad. They probably could have rated that PG-13 in my book, but let's see, what else? Oh, we tried to watch, we started the latest season of The Boys on Amazon. We've watched the previous 3 seasons, and we stopped watching it halfway through the 2nd episode. Lots of reasons that I won't really talk about, but mostly it's if you've watched that show before, first of all, definitely not a kid's show. Lots of cussing, lots of violence, some nudity. There's a lot of adult themes. But this latest season, it's we're in 2 episodes in, and they're always kind of over the top, but it's they're always trying to one-up themselves. And it was just not... It's just gotten too much, You know how it's just, if you know, you know. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It's just too much, and we just both decided we're done. We're just not going to watch the rest of it. So there's that. If you like the show and you're liking this season, good for you. We are not continuing on with it. Shop news really quick. I am working on a project bag update. As you can see, there's some here. That's going to be clothing for me. That's some fabric for dresses. But there's a bunch cut out on my table that I'm working on. So here, probably in a couple weeks, I'm hoping to have a shop update. There will be project bags. I'm hoping to have some yarn cozies, and I did make more of the these. I haven't sold any of these in my shop in a little while, but these heel flap row counters, that's what I call them, heel flap row counters. I think that's what I have them named. Anyway, if you haven't seen these before, this is what I use to count my rows for my heel flap. It's reusable, and I just use a Sharpie to mark it off, and you can wipe it off with alcohol. So love that. So I just keep one of those and a Sharpie in my project bag, and that's how I use them. So I will have some of those for sale in that shop update as well. So that will probably be in a couple weeks. I will for sure update you guys the next time. So anyway, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you aren't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.